Take it. Take it. Thank you very much. I'm very excited to be in your midst. Some 5 months ago, we started Take It Back movement right outside of here, under the canopy. And when we started, we were mocked. We were mocked not only by people who watched us say that we want to put the country in a different direction. We were mocked by even the journalists that attended. They said it was a joke, that we are only internet-based whalers, as we call them. But as Femi Adeyeye said, it didn't take me long to realize that Buhari was useless. When I attended his inauguration, the regime didn't know that after you are sworn in, you are responsible for governing Nigeria. They went home to sleep. Well, they said they couldn't even find Buhari, that he's resting somewhere. Nobody could tell his location. What happened after that was a series of failures, including not being able to set up a cabinet for 6 months. And when he did set up a cabinet, you saw the kind of character joke. And just to buttress how important we have been since we started, we have become a global movement. There's no question about it. So, those of us have Take It Back in Lagos today. We have a Take It Back movement branch in Japan. We have it in Brazil. We have in about almost 20 American cities. We have in Spain, Barcelona. We have in Italy, Treviso. We have in Napoli. We have in Madrid, Spain. We also have it in South Africa. We have in Kenya. We have in Ghana. I'm just talking about the ones outside. We've just been told that there's one in China and there's one in Malaysia. So it is a global movement. Within Nigeria, we have covered Nigeria almost wall to wall within 5 months. Just so that you can understand how fast we are moving. We have traveled in Nigeria in 5 months more than Buhari has ever done his entire time in office. We have actually, just so that we can compete with him outside, we have also traveled around the world, probably more than he has done since he came into office. Probably not as many as he has done, because we don't have a presidential jet, 9 of them. But it's just so that you understand how far we have come within a short time. Even among some of the competitors that we have, they haven't been able to catch up with us. Some of them have tried our retail style of politicking. They've tried town hall meetings. If they do one in a week, they're tired. The other aspirants, people like Atiku, he went to Jalingo today, and I think he was welcomed by a huge crowd of about 10 people. You know, yes. So they described that somebody was circulating and said it was a huge crowd. These are people who are spending millions of naira to mobilize people. But what you are seeing from the Nigerian people at this time is that they are rejecting unconditionally and totally the kind of politicking that have divided them over the years and have also impoverished them. So as you are introducing yourselves in this room today, I have noticed that people are not doing this because of religion. We don't have those kind of religious cleavages. I've seen people with, I heard people with Muslim names and Christian names, and also people who are neither Christian nor Muslim. I know some of them in this room. I don't want to out them. I've also heard people from different ethnic groups. So what we have come to is a conclusion that all those issues that used to divide us, that they used to divide us, we are going to conquer it this time around and defeat them with it. I want to address very quickly what happened in Ekiti last week. It's not only Ekiti that something happened. I think 2 things happened in the last 2 weeks. One was that the People's Democratic Party, PDP as we call them, formed a coalition, and within 3 days that coalition fell apart. You know, they call it COP. It's a cup of sorrow, we call it. And after PDP was done with forming that coalition, we were targeted. They thought that we had joined one of the parties that they went and bought. They were surprised that we have not announced the party and we're not part of the party that lied to them, that we had joined them. Secondly, the APC went to Ekiti, Southwest here, to steal the election there. But the good news is this. Anybody in the last 4 years who's watched Nigerian politics metaphysically will understand that if you win Ekiti by desperation, you will lose the general election by determination. Yes. Because that is how Nigerians determine when you lose, is how you conduct yourself in Ekiti State. When they did it, put fire shade there, they lost in 2015. Now that APC has done it, put fire me back there, they will lose in 2019. There's no question about it. The next thing you hear, because politics is very interesting in this country, PDP having realized that their coalition is not working, having not been able to also overbeat APC in Ekiti, have not decided that they will boycott the general election. I said whether you boycott it or not, you are not going to win anyways, because the only coalition that will win the next election is the coalition of the determined, focused, and undefeatable people of Nigeria, led by young, indefatigable group of people you are looking at in this room. We should congratulate yourselves in advance. We are not bragging. We are going to beat these people hands down. There's no question about it.
Yes, yes.
And we have seen the signs all over the place. Before we came here, I watched President Buhari on channels. They had to provide captions under his statement, so that, because even the stamina to speak clearly is not there. You can see an old, sick man who claims to have integrity. But how do you claim to have integrity and you want to drag down a country to your grave with you? With due respect, Buhari may live longer than any one of us here, but that is not the same thing as being functional or as being effective. The man who died today, former IGP of police, Kumasi, he died today. Buhari went to his house. Is Buhari's classmate. And I don't know that the man died of anything but old age. So how can you go to your classmate's burial to say that you are commiserating with them, but you, that is as old as him, who know that you are also not well, has refused to leave Nigeria alone? This is just not fair. But whether it is fair or not, the verdict is coming their way very soon. And their cup, for those who are holding cups, they will fill their cup and they will run over. And those of them who say that this country cannot progress in their own time, the country will progress in spite of them and over them, whether they like it or not. There is a determination, and the determination we have is not opportunistic. For those who might be saying, go and wait for your time. Our time, fortunately, is now. So this is the time that we have been waiting for, and it has come. But what is very important in what we are doing is this. There's a need for a new generation of leaders to emerge in this country. And when that is going to happen, it has to happen whether those who are in position of authority like it or not. It happened with apartheid in South Africa. When it was time for black liberation to happen, nobody could stop it. Even though when it happened, they raised some other black people to counter the black liberators. But today, all of them are part of history. Some of you famous. So it happened in Egypt, right before our eyes. A generation of leaders had to be retired. They refused. There was a revolution there. It happened even in Gambia, here, our neighbor. There was a guy called Yahya Jammeh. When it was time for him to lose, he refused to lose. He lost, he accepted, and he refused. That Boy Scout there. Now he's a farmer in Equatorial Guinea. But I actually believe that he should be in jail, not a farmer. It's even happened in places like Ethiopia. Every country that has been held to ransom. It's even happened in South Africa again with Zuma, who some of our stupid leaders erected a statue for in Imo State. You can imagine, the people of Imo, you better take it back with us. People of Lagos, you better take it back with us. People of Katsina, you better take it back with us, because you know that without this total liberation of Nigeria, we will not have the progress that we deserve. And I'm talking and speaking directly to all those young people who are still held up in their self-limiting beliefs that they cannot do it, that is not their time, or that the only thing that they are good for is councillorship and chairmanship of local government. The truth is that I heard and watched in Lagos State guys with master's degree trying to become local government chairman. They were not even allowed. So it doesn't matter where you limit yourself. The system is not for you. It doesn't matter if you have a PhD. PhD holders in Nigeria are driving Dangote trucks. Yes. Dangote himself, I don't know if he finished from any university. So if you have self-limiting beliefs, you'll be limited by it forever, because self-limiting belief is also a religion into which you are enslaved. So people, again, I can't tell you how excited. I have graduates who have been around here for 20 years and 5 years, they haven't found a job. You expect me to be kissing up to the government of the day? He said it to us that even as traditional rulers, they tell them what to say in public. All of this country has been taken over by these very wicked leaders. And I'm here to announce to you that liberation has come. And whether you believe it or not, we will be free next year. Just briefly, I want to introduce myself to those who may never have heard about me before, because I get confronted with that people don't know me. They only know me as the guy who runs Sahara Reporters. My name is OMOYELE SOWORE, and I'm a Nigerian. I'm a Nigerian to the core, to the extent that the only passport in my possession is a Nigerian passport. Yes. Reality. Yes. So I have traveled a little bit around the world, have had the opportunities that most people to have, and I don't begrudge people who are not holding Nigerian passport. It's very difficult to keep believing in Nigeria if Nigeria keeps disappointing you every day. Most of the leaders, by the way, who are out there don't have Nigerian passports. I can tell you for free, most of them have dual citizenship. They can't wait for Nigeria to go down, they run away, like yesterday. But I'm a Nigerian. I attended high school, I attended primary school. I didn't go to nursery school, I wasn't that fortunate. I was homeschooled by my father, who was a teacher, and I attended primary school. Not of a state level, I attended local authority primary school in Ondo State. It was owned by the local government, and I went to a secondary school that was created in 1980 by Awolowo in my village, Community Comprehensive High School. They have to put comprehensive there if it's not grammar. It's either grammar school or comprehensive school. So, and then I went to secondary school twice. You've been following us on the internet, you probably saw that I went to one of my high school the other day, about 3 days ago, to see my biology teacher. And from there, I went directly to the University of Lagos, here in the city of Lagos. This is where I cut my activist teeth. I came to Lagos in 1987 and attended the University of Lagos in 1989. Became the student union president at the age of 21 at the University of Lagos. Proceeded to want to graduate in 1993, but they brought their problem. They annulled the June 12th election. And ever since then, I was a street fighter before then, but I became like a well-known street fighter. Fought for June 12, fought against all military leaders, fought against oil companies in this country, fought against even our colleagues when we were in the university. So, joined all kinds of organizations except bad ones, right? And then left Nigeria in 1999. The reason I left Nigeria in 1999 was that we had the military rule was ending. But there was this unusual and unhelpful optimism. After working for about a year, I couldn't work. Some of us are so restless for revolution that we're almost unemployable. You know, if you find yourself working under somebody, you start finding out that you can't fit into the system that dictates to you what to do, because your level of thinking is usually different or sometimes even better than that of your supervisor. So when your supervisor is there telling you what to do, you are trying to save a country, the supervisor is trying to save a company. So so very quickly I went and set up Sahara Reporters, and all of you know the story. Did all the stories that I could against every known thief in this country, almost. Police or army or civilians or customs, count them. You know, I did it up to a point that I started feeling like I'm a priest, that I can see the future. I once covered the story that has never happened in the world. That was of a governor who won election and died before they could announce the result of the election in Kogi State. Nobody believed the story. Nobody. By 4 p.m., everybody dance. Make it very dirty so that you won't look in the way of politics. So it used to be that Nigeria was the country of survival of the fittest, and then it became the survival of the dirtiest. That's where Nigeria is today. So the dirtier they make politics, the more they try to alienate you, decent people from it. But I got to a point where I said, look, every year I have to come back, I have to go through the same airport managed by people who don't know what they are doing. When I get on the street, you are likely to be killed in an accident because of a road that one guy refused to fix. And what is the official job of all the guys who created the problems? They call them politicians. And they love it. So we decided that the easiest way to enter politics is to lower the barrier to entry. Because I know that most of you actually hate party politicking. I hate it too. I hate partisan politics. So we decided this time around that we're moving through a movement. So the movement is like a sanitizer into political revolutionary future for Nigeria. That's why we started Take It Back movement a few months ago. And as you all guys can testify to it, it has become one of the fastest growing movements in the country. To the extent that even traditional politicians are using our battle cry. Oh, we want to take this country back. We have to, if you listen to them when they are doing punditry on TV every morning, you see everybody's using Take It Back. Yes, yes. We went to an event in Abuja, even some of the opponents against us will say, take it back. You know, we have to take this country back. And you discover, you are asking them, where did they get this idea from? They got it from us. So if we can create an idea in 5 months that can find an abode in the expression of everybody, that means we are competent enough to govern Nigeria. Also, if we can do what we have done in 5 months, we can do it in 5 years, we can do it in 4 years, and turn this country around. Let nobody deceive you that Nigeria is, like usually says, complex, and there's nothing complex about Nigeria. What is complex is the ability of the criminals to perpetually, that's the part I don't understand. That's what is complex for me. For me, it's like calculus, that you have a bunch of people who can perpetually enslave 180 million people for 58 years. And they can't do anything about it. That one is complex for me to understand. But the rest of it, there's nothing complex about it. But when you hear the word complex, it's their scare button. When they throw that buzzword at you, they want you to be scared. They also want you to be scared away from engaging and interacting with yourself in a way that can create a different set of goals and progressive things that needs to happen. So I could keep going on and on, but I don't want to do that. My goal here today is to welcome all of you once again. Thank you. I can't thank you enough. I know so many of you have been working consistently and persistently and irresistibly to make sure that this movement is the movement that will defeat the political system next year. We are not going to win the election alone. We want to defeat a decadent political establishment that has enslaved Nigeria for 58 years. And it's not going to be a simple task. But I'm telling you, this in a long time is the first movement that has this mass appeal in the country. And we have not carried a weapon. We're just using our intellect. We are verbalizing our disappointment and disenchantment. And we'll continue to do it. And nobody can silence us. Nobody should be worried about that. I get a load of security advice. Don't move this way. Don't eat that red. You know, if you see something, be careful. I say, forget about it. All of us are in a cage, including the jailer and the jailed. We are all living in the same place. It will get to a point where the pushback has to happen and it starts happening now. So nothing to be afraid of. Last issue I will address is the issue of parties, because I'm sure they get you hammered over what's your political party. Don't worry, we have a strategy for announcing a political party that will happen at the end of July. We are not in a hurry to do it, because if we had done it before now, as you can see, they would have used some kind of strategy either to infiltrate or try to buy people around us over. This period is also a period for us to do all kinds of background checks and screening of the people who are associating with us, so that we do not fall into their traps. They've set a lot of traps out there, because they don't know what to do with us, honestly. They're all like, what do we do with these guys? You know, do we go and invade their offices? How can you invade offices that are based in cyberspace? Most of our operators are on the internet, WhatsApp. A lot of activities are going on virtually. This is one of the few physical. But even if they want to come after us because we are gathering together physically, we are going to outnumber them very quickly. And just so that we can be sure that there's nothing to be afraid of, I have done this before, 30 years ago. In fact, this is what I've been doing my entire life. Activists, you know, I put my feet on the ground whenever it's necessary, and I have been confronting the system. And lastly, just so you know, these guys are not strong. The reason why you see that they are using, you know, macho power and physical force is because behind that veil of physicality and strong arm tactics, you have a bunch of cowards. And the moment the mass is on the move, they will all run away. Their system will undergo what we call osmosis and diffusion at the same time. That was what our biology teacher taught me. And it will just vaporize before the eyes of the revolutionary movement that were created. Once again, thank you. I wish you fantastic deliberation. I will sit around while I speak. I've been told that after my speech, you do not want live streaming so that you can speak your minds freely. And we don't want our enemies to get too much of our strategy and tactics. As you know, everything we say these days, they will go and implement. The other day we said we want an airline. They went and implemented an air logo. They call it Nigeria Air. It was designed on what Acrobats, what Photoshop. So Nigeria now has an airline that is based on the internet. So if you want to travel from here to South Africa, you can check in on Facebook, Nigeria, and you check out in Facebook, South Africa. That is what Nigeria Air is about. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.